Hello YouTube, welcome back. Today is the second video of this series, Firearm Basics. We're going to talk about handgun basics, the various type of handguns overall, and a few models to illustrate those points. So if you are new to the channel, consider subscribing, give us a thumbs up if you like the video, share the video. Let's go ahead and get started. Introduction to handguns basics. So there are three types of handguns overall. Single shot revolvers and semi-automatic pistols. I think for single shot we can consider those to be your muzzle loaders, old traditional guns where you put powder, load to the muzzle and fire. I don't have any in my collection, but today we're going to talk about real quick the two kinds that I'll usually play and train with the most, and most likely, unless you're a collector of older firearms, people usually have these type of semi-automatic pistol or revolvers. Let's talk about them real quick. There are two main kind, well, there are four kinds of actions of operating a pistol. On the revolvers, there are usually two of them: a single action and a double action. By action refer to when you pull the hammer, you cock the hammer and you press the trigger, you fire one round. In order to fire the round, you must cock the hammer first and press the trigger. That's a single action. A double action pistol or revolver allows you to either cock the hammer first and pull the trigger and press the trigger, or directly press the trigger with the hammer down. And this is a hammer. Cock it. This is going to be in single action. Double action, I have to press the trigger to bring the hammer back and forward. So typically a double action pull is harder than a single action pull. As you can see, the single action, the trigger is already pre-pulled for you, for lack of better words. So when you press it, the hammer goes down very gently. So typically if you have a single action, double action, the trigger is lighter in single action. It doesn't take too much effort, and it's heavier in double action. So that's typically what you consider for revolvers. So revolvers have a barrel, cylinder, a hammer, and some type of grip to hold it, and a trigger system. Overall, the cylinder is where you load the rounds. Typically 6 shots, some of them are 8, some of them can be 10, and there are some other special stuff out there. So revolver, just remember single action, double action, single action. In this case, this is a Ruger Blackhawk single 6. So even through the name, you can see it's a single shot. It's got fixed sights in the rear, sights on the front. These are adjustable with the screw where you can adjust for elevation. And sometimes you can also adjust the sights for windage by moving them left or right. When you hear the term windage, it means left or right of where you're aiming, where the shot is going to land. Point of aim, point of impact. Point of aim is where you're aiming through the sights. Point of impact is where the bullet hole goes, or the round goes after you fire you press the trigger. So you have sights that can be adjusted or removed typically, or you have some sights that can be fixed, and then you have some combination of both. This one, for example, has fixed sights and it only has the front sight. The rear sights is there, but it's merely a cutout through the upper part of the chamber, the cylinder block, and you can see the space through it, and you align that. You're supposed to align that gap with the front sight. So very simplistic, very rudimentary. Those are not the greatest sights, but you can see that on a lot of firearms today. Again, this video is just meant to be an introduction to generic handguns basic. But if you own a revolver, some of the things to know and consider. Most revolvers do not have a safety. So when you pick up a revolver, do not put, this goes for any firearm, do not immediately put your finger on the trigger. So revolvers especially do not have safeties in general. So most likely when you put the finger on the trigger and you press that trigger, the shots will go out. And depending on the revolver, some of them have a very, very light trigger, especially when they are single action and already cocked. So you do not want to pick a revolver and put your finger on the trigger. That brings us a good point. Let's pause for a second to remind ourselves to the 4 basic rules of gun safety. Never put your finger on the trigger when you first fire the gun unless you're ready to fire the gun. Never point the gun or the firearm at something you are not intending to harm or destroy or to hit as a target. Always be aware of what's behind your target, what your target is, because bullets don't usually always stop in the first impact. So if you are shooting at something, there could be something behind it that can be penetrated once the bullet penetrates the first target. The 4th rule being, always treat a firearm as if it were loaded. Even if it's your own firearms, don't assume it's unloaded. Always assume it's loaded, which will help you prevent accident. Regardless of what you end up with, or if you have guns already and you consider adding to your collection or adding different guns, make sure you get some training, learn how to use them, keep them safe. Don't be a negligent owner. Train with them, know how to use them, practice, shoot them for sport. Don't be intimidated. Attend some of the shooting competition out there like IDPA, International Defensive Pistol Association. Check those kind of things out where you can learn more about the gun and how to operate them. So if you're still watching the video, I really appreciate it. Give me a thumbs up, post a comment, let me know if you have any of those guns and what you've done to it. Let me know how far you are in your journey of firearm ownership and whether or not this made sense to you and if this helped. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, stay safe.